What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you lot are doing well. Now, yesterday, look, I asked you for 20,000 likes. Once again, you smashed it. I'm not quite sure how, but you've done it again. You know what, guys? I'm fed up with this. I'm going to set you one final like target, 25,000 likes. Can't believe I'm even saying that, but if you can hit that, that would just be insane. That's the final like target I'm setting. Go ahead. Honestly, to even have a chance of hitting that, those of you that never like any videos on YouTube, those of you that may not even know where the like button is, you're going to have to hit the like button. If you can do it, guys, if you can pull it off, I'll be forever grateful, but I'm kind of doubting you can do that. That's a step too far, surely. Even for you guys, I mean, you've smashed every single like target I've set so far, but surely this one is just a little bit too much, surely. You can't have breasts bigger than mine. I'm adopted, and my adoptive mother has always been very thin. She's currently a size 6 and freaking out that she's morbidly obese. Needless to say, I did not have the best relationship with food and weight growing up. I hit puberty early and blossomed with hips, butt and breasts. By the time I was 14, I was 130 pounds, with rather large breasts. I was measured as a triple D at a bra store. My mother refused to believe this and completely freaked out because it was utterly unreasonable that I'd have bigger breasts than her. I would have to cut my breasts with my hands to prevent them spilling out of the bra when I bent over. I couldn't run or jump without them bouncing out. My mother thought that this meant I needed an underwire bra, and so she bought me a bunch and insisted I wear them rather than the less painful non-wired bras. Do you have any idea how uncomfortable it is to be wearing an A cup when you're a triple D? I mean, I don't, but I can imagine. I literally have scars under my breasts and in the sides of them from the underwire digging in so deeply. It's been years and I'm still not over it. I'm still very bitter and upset. Every time I look at myself naked in the mirror, I see those scars on my side and I get angry. Oh man, having those permanent scars just because your mum has some sort of jealousy issue, I assume is what it sounds like. That is horrible. What a toxic thing to do to your own kid. How weird is it to have a parent that is jealous of their own kid's breast size, right? I mean, that is so strange. Clearly, she's thinking in her head, I can't have my daughter having bigger breasts than mine. I'm going to make her wear, the smallest bra possible to either scar her, make them smaller. I don't know what she was thinking, but clearly she had the intention of hurting you. Moving on to our next story. All of you need to learn my language when I give birth to my kid. Also, give me a free apartment. So, I am an educator working in foster care for female migrants who are victims. For example, sex trafficking, forced prostitution, forced marriage, etc. Our age range is 17 to 31, and I live with these women in an apartment. Now, 2 of them are pregnant, but the woman I am talking about has lived over 1 year in Germany, and I swear to God, she cannot speak one sentence in German. On top of that, she can also not speak any English. I just started this job in February, so I asked my boss about it, and she told me that this woman flat out refuses to learn German or English. I taught German and English to refugees before in other jobs, so, especially with schools being closed due to Corona, I taught English, German and maths several times a week, on top of my normal work. She never participated once. So, when she was 39 weeks pregnant, I had to bring her to the hospital. Not only did she complain for the whole 20 minutes in French, I understood her, but my French is not good enough that I could answer properly. She also complained that I did not drive her in her car and also made a fuss in the hospital. I swear to God, I have never apologized for someone's behavior this many times in 3 hours. But in the hospital, there was no French doctor, so the hospital literally ripped their arms and legs out to find anyone who speaks proper French. One nurse from a different area came over. Now, her French was good enough to explain the basics, but we had to redo this appointment with a translator because her French skills were not good enough to 100% legally plan a birth. Yes, it was bad that there wasn't a French-speaking doctor there, but what annoys me is that she literally expects everyone to learn French to be able to talk to her, but refuses to learn German or English. I have a lot of patience, and I'd worked with over 200 migrants at this point, also professionally teaching German classes for non-native speakers. But she is the only person I've ever witnessed who literally refuses to learn 2 sentences. She cannot even buy food in stores in Germany. She is the definition of one entitled parent for me. She also demanded that the government, or my boss, give her a free 3-room apartment and paid food because apparently her 15-meter square room, plus the free money for food and a shared kitchen living room that she already has, is not enough for her and her baby. I also want to highlight, she is one of the cases where we are 80% sure that she made her story up. She told us her story, how she came here, what victim she is. 5 women before already told our boss. Same names, same scenarios. We probably think that there are some people people who will tell these women these stories and tell them, say this and this so you have a better chance of staying in Germany. Look, I would never bash a traumatized woman for needing time to adjust, but she does not even know how to say, I'm good, I'm tired, I'm doing fine in German when I ask her how she is doing. How does she want to live here on her own in her own government-paid apartment? I actually feel sorry for how this child will grow up with such an entitled mother. Yeah, look, I do completely agree with OP. If you have gone through a traumatic experience or your whole life has been really difficult and eventful, yeah, fair enough, I give you the benefit of the doubt. But over a year in a new country and you still haven't learned like basic phrases, that's just kind of ignorant, isn't it? I don't know about you guys, but I've been fortunate enough to go to quite a few countries, and I always feel guilty myself when I go to a country and they speak English to me and I can't speak any of their language. That is one of the reasons why I studied Spanish at university. At least then when I go to a Spanish-speaking country, I can interact a little bit with locals at the very least. What I'm saying is, when I go to another country, it shouldn't be the duty of the locals to speak my language. I should be able to speak a little bit of their language. I'm in their country after all. And then when you look at this story and she's been in Germany for a year and doesn't know a little bit of the language, yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. Moving on to our final story, another entitled mum tries to take my wheelchair. For the last 2 years, I battled a bone infection in my left foot. Backstory, it all started as a very small ulcer on my big toe that I ignored, and it turned out to be very big, just a couple of millimeters below the surface. The infection started because the ulcer went straight to the bone. On the 26th of August 2019, after multiple rounds of IV antibiotics, oral antibiotics, surgeries, and hospital admissions, I lost the war against osteomyelitis. Hope I'm saying that right. I had 7 different infections at once: Pseudomonas, MRSA, staph, strep, osteomyelitis, and the other 2 I can't remember. So the amputation goes fine and I'm sent to physical rehab, where I spend a week, and then to a nursing unit for recovery. It all started in the nursing units the day after I arrived. I was given a wheelchair to use while the paperwork is being done to get my permanent one. In the nursing units, you get a wheelchair assigned to you by physical therapy. I was also given free rein to go mostly anywhere I want as long as I stay on hospital grounds, and am in my room when it is time for IV antibiotics. I'm given a pass to get in the unit if I want to go out. So the second day there, it was a beautiful day out, 70 degrees, sunny, and a moderate breeze. I decide I want to enjoy the weather as fall will soon be here, and I don't know how much longer I have in here. I was told that I have another 4 weeks, but my infectious disease doctor is trying to get me out sooner with an at-home IV device. To get to the courtyard, you have to go by the ER. Imagine an X intersection. As I'm heading north, the ER is on my left and ER registration is on my right. Ahead is the hallway that led out to the courtyard that is on the right. The ER at this particular hospital is nothing but a glorified urgent care. Anything above sprains and the flu, you have to go to the main hospital across town. This is where I encounter an entitled mum and her entitled kid. When I near the intersection from above, I have to wait a minute for a stretcher to go by that is heading south. This is where I hear the call of a wild Karen. Excuse me? Louder this time. Excuse me? Near yelling this time. Excuse me? What? I need that wheelchair. Sorry, I need it more, as I show her what is left of my leg. Her entitled kid says, Mum, I can't walk anymore. My ankle really hurts. The entitled mum says to me, so what? I need to get my sick baby off her feet. They can get you another. I'm not waiting. The entitled mum walks in my direction. She grabs the handles and tries to dump me out. Keyword, tries. Enter a really nice nurse. Now this nurse saw what was happening and came running. She tries to get the entitled mum to let go of the wheelchair, but the entitled mum has a death grip. The nurse then sees an ER doctor walking on by. Doctor, help me! The doctor tries to get the entitled mum to let go at this point. Now enter security guard 1 and security guard 2 after they see what is going on. The second security guard is about 6'3" and 350 pounds. He can't get the entitled mum to let go. So the first security guard now resorts to pepper spray. He sprays her once, still a death grip. Spray number 2 gets her to release the handles. It also gets me right in the eye. After this, I don't see much, as the really nice nurse is attending to me. The ER doctor brings a bottle of water and starts to flush my eye. The nurse then takes me back to the ER. She stays with me until the nursing supervisor from the nursing unit comes to get me. The police then come to interview me and make sure I am okay. The hospital is pressing charges and they want to know if I want to as well. I say yes. What happened to the entitled kid? Well, she was seen due to HIPAA, I couldn't find out more, and her nice dad came to pick her up. He came to me to apologize for the entitled mum's actions. From what he inferred, this is not unusual for her. I wish there was an ending to this, but she has delayed court 3 times. She is facing 4 misdemeanor charges and 1 felony charge: trespassing, assault of a disabled person, resisting arrest, and assault of the second security guard. I don't know what happened on that one. I was asked if it was okay if she pled to assault, the felony, if they dropped the other charges. I said it wasn't okay unless it included jail time. Due to Corona, we have to wait for it to continue. Also, for those who want to see Black Beauty and how much a prosthetic really costs, here is the image. Oh wow, what an absolute weapon. That is a pretty cool prosthetic leg, I've got to say. Then you look at the price, $38,000? Really? Holy heck, wow, that's like the price of a really nice car, my goodness. Yeah, guys, honestly, the hospital is probably the worst place to come across an entitled parent, especially when you have something so terribly wrong with you, like having to amputate your leg. You don't want to come across one of them right there, do you? I can almost guarantee that her entitled kid, you know, yeah, she might have had a pain in her ankle, but it can't have been anywhere near the severity of having to have your leg amputated. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with that person? They see that you don't have a leg, or they see your prosthetic leg and they say to themselves, you know what, my little baby, her ankle's still attached. That's an important point, but it's still pretty painful. So you know what, give me your wheelchair, you'll be alright, just hobble along on one leg. Seriously though, given how expensive stuff like that costs, after paying all that amount of money, you do not want to come across an entitled parent anytime soon after that sort of injury and that sort of expense. OP, I'm sorry you had to go through all that. Anyway guys, that is going to be the end of this entitled parents video. As I said in the intro, 25k likes, that's a quarter of 100,000. Wow, we're getting to serious numbers now. That is the last ever like goal I'll set for a while anyway. If you can smash that, fair enough, but it would take all of you watching right now, literally all of you still watching the video, to drop a like, then maybe we have a chance. If not, I don't think it's a possibility.